Hello and welcome to the Bloody Ox Esports Invitational. This is going to be the top 50 people, or top 100 people are invited to this tournament, and we have 8 people to participate. So that's going to be pretty exciting. All very exciting stuff.
Yeah, I can't wait to see the decks that the top 50 participants are bringing. And as you mentioned before, we do have 8 of the top 50 finishers from NA today, right? This is NA.
Tomorrow's going to be the EU.
That's right. So be sure to come in back tomorrow at the same time to check out the top 50 EU. So again, at 5 o'clock EST here on Bloody Sports Esports.tv, or Bloody Ox Esports. So the first match that we have coming up is going to be between UKR and X Crouton, I believe. Right?
Yes. Maybe Crouton.
Oh, Crouton. Crouton. Yeah, not Crouton.
I'd love it to be Crouton.
Yeah, croutons are pretty delicious. I had a salad before this, so I'm thinking about that. So, have the players come on the line yet?
Yes, they're both online, and they are preparing to battle a friend.
All right, let's look at their deck lists then. Looks like UKR has a nice selection between the what is that? An Echoes Mage, a Malagos Shaman, Pirate Warrior, and Reno Lock.
Yeah, I think it's just a Reno Mage, but with
Deck is Medivh as well. I see. It's pretty interesting. And then Crouton, on the other hand, bringing a Mage deck, a Druid deck, a Rogue deck, and a Warlock deck.
Yes, his Jade Druid has Yogg-Saron on, which is pretty exciting, and his Quest Rogue does not have Vanish, so that'll be interesting to see how that pans out. Yeah. Instead opting for Eviscerate and Backstab.
So I think that's an interesting tech choice. I mean, Vanish comes in later in the game, so maybe he's expecting a little more aggro in this tournament.
Yeah. Double
Backstab, double Eviscerate. Those are really good early clear options combined with the lots of one-drop cards that he's running, just as most Quest Rogues do.
For me, having more options as to where you put your preparation towards is better.
That is
having
true.
At least one Vanish, I would consider like at least. 2 is pretty questionable, but 1 I very much like.
Yeah, Vanish or not Vanish. Preparation does not hit Backstab, so no bonuses from that. But exactly. Yeah, the Vanish is an interesting tech, just because I think if you haven't drawn any bounce effects and like you're running into the late game, like Vanish is something that might be able to help reset the board, provide a little more of a chance to draw into the necessary bounce to complete the quest.
It itself is a bounce, so if you only get, say, 2 bounces, that's your 3rd bounce.
Looking for anything special in these Reno decks here.
The target dummy as well.
Oh.
Wait a second, is this just standard? I think it is. I mean, there's not too much to the deck to begin with.
That is true. So players are still... Oh, all right, it looks like they're getting ready and about to head into the first match. And actually, one of the players messaged me about if I was a caster or not, so I need to respond to that. So I'm looking over UKR's lists here, and it seems like him and Crouton are playing very similar versions of a Reno Warlock. Now Crouton does not. Oh, they do both run Dark Bomb.
Yes, they're both running
from standard.
They're both running the combo variant of Reno Lock.
Right, because as in Wild, you still have access to the Power Overwhelming, which was unfortunately removed, put in the Hall of Fame from Standard, which is honestly probably a good thing for Standard. It's a very oppressive card.
Burst potentially. You don't have to be scared when you're at 20 health.
Right.
At least in Standard. In Wild, all bets are down.
Yeah, and especially combined with aggro too. It was just a great tool for both archetypes, control and aggro. Because the zoo deck format that we were seeing was one that ran a lot of token generators like Shadow Beast and Forbidden Tentacles. So you'd have a bunch of these tokens. You'd play a 1 mana, give a minion +4/+4, and all of your 1 mana cards would trade favorably against your opponent's board, which is really strong.
1 mana, deal 4 damage. Yes, please.
Right. Not quite as good as Soulfire, probably. But throwback to when Soulfire was 0 mana. I tried playing a Malagos Warlock back then.
Those were the days.
Yeah, it's good to see that the Wild community is actually not as small as what I thought it was. I mean, I play almost exclusively Wild, but I didn't realize that so many people were still playing it. I expected Standard to take over.
Well, I mean, Standard has taken over, but there's a small, healthy community of people that are very interested.
It's great. And we are still waiting for our 2 participants, unfortunately. Not sure what's taking them so long.
So they are working on bans right now, so that's what's the holdup right now.
All right, looks like they have finally entered the match.
Woo! Little eyeballs of truth.
Right, now we can get this show on the road. It seems like Crowton actually hasn't added me back yet, so I cannot view his hand until he does. So I'll rely on you.
Well, I'll just keep you informed. Oh, Jackson in his opening hand, along with Emperor Tharson. I'm not sure if Crowton knows if UKR is playing Malga Shaman.
Yeah, that's a surprise deck that a lot of people wouldn't expect. I would make the assumption of, and also the Frost Shock, an interesting tech choice, as most of the time the spells that you do run in Malaga's Shaman are the Lightning Bolts, the Crackles, and definitely a Lava Shock, at least one, and then maybe a Lava Burst. So it's nice to see that he's innovating a little bit.
So this Reno lock has Kazakis, Reno Jackson, and Lord Jiraxis in his starting hand. So you can expect
he did add me back, so I do have access to that now.
Awesome.
Yeah. I do like the coin ancestral knowledge sometimes on turn 1. Because if you're playing a slower game, and obviously you're playing Malagos Shaman, and you don't really have too many answers to aggro, if you would make the assumption that this Warlock deck is playing aggro, it's important to get another set of cards into your hand to provide extra options.
Yeah, one thing you do need to do is you have to coin out ancestral knowledge, because if you don't coin it out and you play it on 2, you will overdraw on 4.
That's right.
That's something noteworthy.
And also a lot of Shaman's very good removal cards, such as Hex and Lightning Storm, are 3 mana. So having open 3 is a great play.
Yeah. The deck almost entirely runs 3 mana cards, except for the burst from Lightning Bolt and Frost Shock.
Right. Now, it looks like Ancestor's Call, even though it did get the discount from the far site, he's unfortunately drawn Halazil. So if he wanted to get a super early burst, he unfortunately will have to play the Halazil first to guarantee that Malagos comes out.
He unfortunately missed on the barn.
Great pick.
He would have much rather had like Emperor Tharson.
Definitely.
A few minions left in the deck. I think Emperor, Azure Drake, and Manatide were the 3 that are left.
Yes. The variant of Malagos Shaman that I play actually runs only Barnes as a card, which is 6 mana or less. Because after that, I run Sagoth the Slitherer, Yasharaj, and White Eyes. So it seems like this is a little more spell-oriented with exclusively Malagos and Halazil. So, and the Frost Shocks too, which I'm like happy they're in there. It's a really cool choice.
No, they're really fun. You get so much burst out of it.
So let's actually see how much this is right now. That's 7, 13.
20.
Yeah.
27.
He has lethal next turn. Which is
Does he have
one of
mana
the
for it?
huge upsides.
6
I mean, I
mana,
think he
yeah.
does. Yeah. He is exactly 6.
Wow.
It's one of the huge
that-
upsides of Malaga's Shaman if you draw correctly. Just the immense burst.
Game.
Wow.
Wow.
That's one
Turn
way to
6
open a
lethal.
tournament, right? Oh, let's see if he recognizes it first. Yeah, he does. Okay, good. And UKR will take game 1 of the first game, or the first set in the top 50 NA Invitational.
In spectacular fashion, I might add.
Yeah, quite a burst there. And he heals up to full 30 just for the extra.